Hello there. Just going to have a look at the next archetype in our series, our Back to Basics series. So, shake off the box of archetypes a little bit. See what we get today. Just one. Okay, that's one. And today it is. Where is it? Water and Earth, the Enchantress. Okay, that's the next one. Now the Enchantress is the archetype of water and earth. So water is her main element, and earth you could think of as her inner or core element. It's an archetype of depth and of feeling. It's a very psychic archetype. It belongs to a world of subterranean association and of connection and of flowing. You could think of a figure who is like a medium, or like a seeress, or like a witch, not the pantomime witch, but a much younger and magical figure. She's associated with the moon, and this is one of the figures that you would think of as being associated with many goddesses that you could think of, such as goddesses of the moon. Also of various figures. The figure of Psyche also comes up in the myth of Eros and Psyche. This is not an easy archetype for people to live in this day and age. Especially for men, who are largely punished and forbidden for manifesting this archetype. But for anybody, increasingly anybody, this is an archetype which is considered to be either mad or foolish in some way, because it goes towards depth, and it goes towards a much more ancient form of understanding and knowing and connecting with life, and its intuitive capacity actually can connect and feel with the greater continuity of life in a way which the rational mind can't. The archetypes are different forms of consciousness, and this particular form of consciousness is in many respects quite miraculous. It's the world of the imagination as a really deep faculty, deep waters, and there are hazards to this state, but also a great capacity for rejuvenation and healing, and for showing truths which can't be known by other means. It's a world which can be approached through poetry and through appreciation, and so we see it in the deepest senses of appreciation, the things which truly touch us and move us. This is where we start to find this archetype in our lives often, and it's in the deep feelings and attachments and bonds and relationships that we find the sensitivity of this archetype uncovered. Often when people contact this archetype, it brings up many feelings of traumas and of sufferings and of hurts, because deep down inside us, that's where we tend to store these things. But along with these things, there are treasures, It's like there's all the shipwrecks are down there, but all the treasure is down there too. And this is where some people, live, essentially, with, more or less. it's where some people live. It's a hard place to live, though, but it's a miraculous place to live, because in this place there are the true currents of the psyche and the true currents of the other world, and this is where a person can actually start to feel how the world moves behind the scenes. So this archetype is one of extended perception, but it's not the flashlight consciousness. This is more like the starlight consciousness and the consciousness of moonlight. This is a sensitive, enchanted, imaginative world where one thing is possible to flow into another, and one thing is possible to shift and change into another. Things are not quite so fixed here. It's a much more fluid and flexible world in that way, and it's the world of a good part of witchcraft, and so there's a great deal of magic in this world. As I said, we can see her in many goddesses, so we see her in many moon goddesses, but we see her in the figures of powerful witches from various mythologies and folk tales. Young, strong, powerful witches, and who have great capacities, who have great depth, who have great roots to their magic, and we see her in these figures too. We see her, as I said, in the figure of Psyche, who is a mortal who Eros falls in love with accidentally, basically, and who goes through many trials because of her love for Eros and Eros' love for her. But at the end of the day, she comes through all of her trials and she is united with her lover. So there's a lot of feeling to this archetype of tremendous, just endless value, but also this real suffering of loss where loss occurs, and because that's also part of the experience of life. But there's also this tremendous capacity for rejuvenation. She is new life, but she's also as if she were the soul of the land of the dead as well. The time of the year we associate with her, at least in the northern hemisphere, is the spring equinox. So she is new life. She is that rejuvenation of the earth as well. She is the inundation of life with soulfulness and with longing and with grief and with dreams and with all of these possibilities and intuitions of connection. So this is part of where we see her in the tarot. Her element, because she is a cardinal, and she's the cardinal of the element of water, and the element of water in the tarot is associated with the suit of cups. So we see her also in some of the figures in the suit of cups as well. Some of the court cards, like the Queen of Cups, for instance. She is kind of like the Holy Grail, in a sense. She's that power of the Holy Grail. She's the power that's symbolized by the Holy Grail, which is this great opening of this rejuvenating, magical power of the depths of a person, of the depths of the human soul, and of the depths of the unconscious. So she is that, and her gifts are many, and they go far beyond the time that we live in. But just as her gifts are many, so is the sufferings they sometimes entail. Because one cannot really open up to these things without, in a sense, being broken open to them. And so the opening of the heart is also something that I would associate with this archetype. But to be understood more deeply and more fully, it's all part of a rhythm and cycle of life which rejuvenates and floods and goes through yet more cycles and takes us nearer to the center of our being, and also bestows upon us a greater fullness of life. If we can accept it, and if we can understand and accept its guidance, and start following our own intuition, and start following our own deepest feelings, and honouring them, and allowing this form of consciousness to take its place in our life, if we happen to be blessed to have an opening to it. That, anyway, is the Enchantress. I hope that's of help, and I hope it maybe forms a start to a further study of this form of consciousness and this archetype.